Well, we want to welcome you, homesteaders, gardeners, farmers, whatever you might be. Last Monday, I had done a video on some of the planting I did, and one of the things I did was onions, and that's what I'm doing here in this video. I do the back Eden garden, which means that I have wood chips that are spread over my entire garden. So what I have to do is I take that little post and it has a string. I back some of the wood chips away. And what I'm doing here is just taking, that was a night crawler I found. And that garden is loaded with worms. Well, what I'm doing is I'm just loosening the top part of the soil, pulling away some more of the wood chips that I didn't get with the garden rake. And I'll go down the entire row doing that. Now, something that I don't usually do, and I am doing this year only because I've got so much compost that I had sifted last year, finished compost, sifted it with a eighth inch or quarter inch, I can't remember, screen. It's pretty fine. So that's what we're doing here. And then once I get down to the end, I'll come back. I'll put, just a light coat of the compost on top, just to give it a little extra nutrients. This garden, my garden is just sandy, sandy, sandy. As I've shared in other videos, we moved in, our big move was the day of 9/11. After I got unglued from the TV sometime that night. But anyways, I have brought truckload after truckload after truckload of cow manure, and I clean my mom and dad's sheep barn out, and I come down with either a pickup load or my 16-foot trailer will be loaded. And that's gone into the garden. So, I mean, this garden has had so much manure that's gone in. But even still, it is sandy, sandy, sandy. Now, one of the things that I'm going to do in another video, I don't know if I'll get it on today or not, you're going to see me actually water this garden. You can see, looking at the soil right there, it looks good. It looks nice and moist, which it is. Okay, here's where I'm going to put the compost in. Doesn't that look nice? So I'm just going to sprinkle a light layer over the top of it. Somebody ought to get after me and tell me to keep my shirt pulled down past my belt line. My wife just made a comment in the background and I didn't catch it because I've got headphones on. You know, if you make your own compost, I encourage you, whether you do this back to Eden garden like I do, or if you do a traditional type garden, use that compost. It is so good for your soil. Now, once I get planting, I'm going to probably speed up the video. You don't need to watch me do the whole thing. I'll start it out. I'll let you know what I'm doing, how far I'm spacing them. With my onions, I get them from Dixondale Farms. I don't get onion sets. That's how I used to grow onions, as I used to get onion sets. I no longer do that. I buy 1-year-old plants. They're taken out of the field. They're bundled together with elastic bands, and then they're labeled. So that's what I'm getting now. And what I'm going to be planting is the copra. Now what I'm doing is I'm showing you. I've got 4 inches. I've got a little plastic or rubber tubing. That's what I start out with my marking. I want to keep my my onions 4 inches apart. Okay, and this is what you get from Dixondale Farms. Now, there's supposed to be, I think, somewhere between 50 and 75. These were a little bit bigger, so I didn't get the count that I normally do, but I was happy. These onions will last a long time. In fact, Leanna just brought up the last bunch of onions that we've got. We bring them in, we harvest them, and she braids them. They go down in the basement. She just brought the last bunch in, so they've lasted well. I think out of that last bundle of probably 50, there was one that had sprouted, so they last a long time. I can't remember the shelf life that they recommend. 8 months, 8 to 10 months, I think. Of course, that's ideal conditions. So what I'm doing is I'm planting them 4 inches apart, and I'm only going an inch down, and the inch down, no more, is so important, because if you go deeper than that inch, the bulbs aren't going to produce the way they need to. They only need to be an inch. So I'm going to speed through this. You can see it's not going to take me too long to go through. Actually, I'm kind of taking my time. It was a warm day. It was just nice to be out there. Okay, so now we've got that row all planted. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some rabbit manure that I dried up there in the winter. Going to do a light coat of that all the way down through, just to give them a little bit of nutrients. Onions are a fairly hard feeder. Now there are times during the summer that I will give it some. I think it's called ammonium sulfate, which really boosts it along really well. Okay, so now that I've got each plant done, I'm going to work the chips back around the plants just to help hold that water in there. Now, if I was planting seed, which in a video that I'm going to upload either in a day or two, I had planted carrots and radishes. With that, I've got to leave it exposed until the plants do come up. By here, I can cover the onions up, and once they really come up, I'm going to really start putting the wood chips to the garden. I need to get some more in there. I'm probably running about a half, 3/4 of an inch of wood chips on the garden right now, so I want to get it back up there, around 4 inches. Okay, so now you're going to see what I did today, Thursday. Okay, to finish this video off, what happened here is I had planted carrots and radishes in that row. And what I'm doing here is I'm going to put some water on the onions. Now, I don't normally water my garden. That's the great thing about the Back to Eden garden. But we have gone from trying to get to 40 degrees, we're up to 80 degrees now, and it's going to be there for about 4 or 5 days. No rain for 4 or 5 days. The soil underneath those wood chips is very moist, but where I've exposed the soil and where the carrots are planted now, because I have sandy soil, it's going to dry out quick. So, I mean, there are going to be times that you're going to have to add some water to it. Now, hopefully this will be the last time this year. Once we get the rain, I should be good to go. So hopefully this video has been inspiring to some of you, for those who are thinking about doing the Back to Eden garden. Hopefully this was helpful. So if you have any questions or comments on how I do this, I know it's kind of quick the way I have to show this, but if you haven't subscribed to this channel, click the subscribe button, click the notification button. I'm getting so that I'm able to put some videos on, which has been a good thing. I know a lot of people have been interested in the rabbits. So, I want to thank you so much. We love you. God bless you.